as well as the President and CEO of Asia Foundation, David Arnold. Sir, if you could kindly join us as well. मैले भर्खरै केही समय अगाडि भनेको थिएँ अलिकति कहिलेकाहीँ संसार घुम्ने मौका पाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ यसो के भइरहेछ, यसो के चाहिँ इनोभेटिभ भइरहेछ, के चाहिँ R&D हुँदैछ, के कुरा चाहिँ नयाँ उब्जिँदैछ भनेर चाहिँ यसो हेर्न चाहिँ बडो रमाइलो लाग्छ मलाई। अनि जता जाँदाखेरि पनि जहिले पनि मनमा एउटा कुरा के लाग्छ भन्दाखेरि काश हाम्रोमा पनि यस्तो भइदियो हुन्थ्यो, हाम्रोमा पनि यसरी चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ गर्न सके हुन्थ्यो भन्ने चाहिँ मैले जहिले पनि त्यो अगाडिदेखि नै सोच्दै आएको कुरा हो। र हिजो पनि त्यस्तै एक दुईवटा थोक चाहिँ त्यो विदेश जाँदाखेरि यसो देख्दाखेरि चाहिँ हाम्रोमा पनि हामीले सुरुवात गर्नु पर्ला भन्ने जस्तो चाहिँ एक दुई थोक लागेको थियो। त्यो दिनभरिमा कतै न कतै चाहिँ टुचुक्क लाएर कतै न कतै भन्ने छु। म एकदमै आशावादी छु र यहाँ अनरेबल मिनिस्टर पनि हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँसँग कुराकानी हुँदाखेरि पनि मैले जहिले पनि भन्थेँ बडो आशावादी छु भनेर चाहिँ म आफूलाई चाहिँ त्यो एउटा ट्याग चाहिँ म लाउन चाहन्छु। र आज पनि थ्रु आउट द डे the conversation that we are going to have, the conversation with the panelists, the questions that are going to be asked today, the answers that are going to be given today, and the conversation throughout the day is going to be very innovative, which is going to head towards uplifting our nation. It will head towards getting us right at the map. That is the feeling that I have today, and it is the first National Innovation Conference. And with your support, with the amount of time that you've given us by being here, I'm sure that towards the end of today, we will be coming out towards a very positive conclusion. So thank you very much for being with us here, and I'm looking forward for a very, very fruitful morning as well as the day and throughout the evening as well. So thank you very much for being here, and let's begin. Please put your hands together and let's begin the first National Innovation Conference. I'd like to start off by inviting the Vice Chairman of the International Alliance of Robotics Association right here on the podium. Please put your hands together and help me welcome our keynote speaker, Oliver Tian. Sir.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is a great pleasure to be here. And Honorable Minister and all distinguished guests, I find it amazing to come to a country that has so much vision and aspiration to look at innovation. I come from Singapore. I flew in last night. And I represent two associations. One is the Global Robot Cluster, and the other is the International Alliance of Robotic Associations. So really, robotics is the space I play in. And of course, with robotics comes AI in robotics, which I'll talk a bit more as we go along. I see a lot of US friends here. I love that because I used to work for the US multinationals for 20 years. And Bay Area is a place I go to very frequently. So let me begin my presentation. I want to talk about how we can deal with cross-border collaboration to develop innovations. Because I believe the world today is getting a lot more connected together. And it's so important that we need to start to work with each other, collaborate with each other, so that we can move forward with a lot of innovation and work towards a better quality of life for all of us. Now, let me explain the two organizations that I belong to. Firstly, the Global Robot Clusters. We represent 28 clusters around the world from 22 countries. Of course, some bigger countries like the United States, India, has more than one cluster. Hence, there are 28 clusters. Our goal is to try our best to support growth. We try our best to help countries collaborate and innovate different technologies. We have an annual assembly that takes place in November in Daegu City out of Korea. We are growing, and we are kind of new, first established in 2018, right? And over the past few years, we have kind of built up a very strong network of organizations that wish to come together. And if you look at the map right there, Nepal is definitely on the list. We welcome Nepal to join us in this organization and work towards greater collaboration. The second organization that I belong to is the International Alliance of Robotic Association. As you can tell, this is really centered very much out of China, right? The headquarters is in Zhejiang, Hangzhou, right? And a lot of the provinces are part of this association. Yeah? And the wider countries come together to support China in some of the innovation works there. So the Global Robot Cluster spends much time working together in different forms, right? We have our General Assembly in November, and we have our midterm annual board meeting in different countries. We move from country to country. We've been to the United States, we've been to France, we've been to Singapore, and we're thinking of going to New Zealand and perhaps Israel as a possibility of working together. I want to talk about what I think are the key areas of consideration for cross-border collaboration. I think this is extremely important because while we start to look at a lot of collaboration, what does it mean to many of us? I believe it's important to start off with communities of learning, how we can all learn. There are different levels of learning. And of course, it's important that we help each other in cross-sharing of knowledges. And communities of learning is probably the first stepping stone to building the path towards collaboration, sharing knowledge, and being able to understand the different levels of competency in the different countries, and more importantly, help to uplift those countries that need more knowledge sharing. The second area is really in the area of pulling together interdiscipline groups, right? Innovation is not about one discipline or another. It's about disciplines coming together, and forming those groups are so important, whether it's within a country or cross-border. The third is really trying to put together a structure that we can build professional competencies and put commercial application in place, and then finally, a structure that allows more stable collaboration. So if I go into a lot of details of each of these particular areas, what it suggests is that there are tremendously huge opportunities for all of us to explore the different areas of collaboration. And in this sense itself, I believe we can work towards sharing of knowledge right through the space of interdisciplinary collaboration and down to building a structure where we can do a lot of combination work. Just to give you some examples of what the Global Robot Cluster does. We spend time talking to different countries who visit Korea, and we invite them to factories to see innovations that's taking place. We bring them to universities and talk about the different spaces. We discuss policies, guidelines, standards to help the different countries. There was one particular initiative that we look at in terms of how countries can come together to collaborate. So this is one example whereby the ASEAN countries came together to look at how collaboration can take place. We look at things like robotics in the construction sector and how we can work together. We look at a program called the World Talent Companion, which I would love to invite Nepal to participate. This is where we try to provide opportunities for the young learners, college students, to cross border and have international internship. I'll just skip through this in terms of how the Global Robots Cluster can support. There are three areas which I believe we should be considering. One is how we can find a commercially viable technology that can be brought into different countries. Two is really the area of looking at how we can translate technology into commercially viable applications. And this is where a lot of startups and innovations can come together. Thirdly is the academic research, where there's a concept, there's an idea, how can we spend time building together the right aspects and understanding the actual industry needs that can generate greater collaboration. This is one particular event that we organized in Singapore, AI Robotics, and this is like AI in robotics. Machines are dumb machines that cannot do much, but if you put in the intelligence, we can do a lot more. We believe in how we can greatly leverage technology to augment human capabilities and extend human potential. It is important we are able to understand the technology and use it accordingly. So we look at future technology, what's possible, what's available. We look at future work, how does it impact the work cycle, process, and more importantly, future skills that's needed to explore work, and more importantly, in the whole process itself, look at the innovation of the different space. I'll probably end off with this particular slide to just talk about a little in the area of AI, artificial intelligence, which is one of the keywords today, right? And for those who are not very familiar with AI, we fear and we feel the threat that AI may replace us. But I want to say that AI will not replace us. AI is just a technology. It is the person who knows how to use AI that will replace people who do not. So it is important that all of us start to build up our capability to understand technology. There are three ways we can do that. One, I encourage people to start looking at your own local innovation map. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to do? With that, you can move on to look at how you can survey global matching programs that can match your local needs. And then put together a strategy that can look at both global and local alignment. Because this is the only way Nepal can grow and develop. This is the only way the outside world can understand what you need and come together and collaborate. I believe innovation is a collaboration between all parties, regardless of which country you come from. So with that very brief note, I thank you very much for your time, and I really enjoy talking to all of you. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Oliver. And of course, right at the end, you ended with AI, and times are definitely changing. This is the world of ChatGPT, I believe, and I'd love to talk about that towards the later part of the day with you. And very, very interesting thing that you shared was sharing of knowledge, and I believe cross-border, across the world, sharing of knowledge is something that is the most important thing, and I believe that's what we are doing right now as well as a pani. हामी नलेज नै सेयर गरिरहेको छौँ जस्तो चाहिँ मलाई फिल भइरहेको छ र अगाडि बढ्दै हामी जोइन हुन्छौँ डिजिटली विथ अ सेकेन्ड किनोट स्पिकर उहाँले हामीलाई अमेरिकाबाट चाहिँ जोइन गर्नुभएको छ डिजिटली ओभर जुम आई बिलिभ हाम्रो साथमा हुनुहुन्छ फर्मर मिसन डाइरेक्टर he is also the former additional secretary at NITI Ayog, and right now he's the former mission director at Ital Innovation Mission. It's a pleasure to have with us R. Ramanan, joining us digitally. So it's a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning to everybody there, Honorable Minister, dignitaries on the dais, esteemed guests, innovators who are present for this particular conference, the first National Innovation Conference in Nepal, and all the young students who are probably also attending this and who are getting inspired by the speakers as well as all the people they are interacting with. It is indeed a pleasure and a privilege for me to be able to join digitally, though I'd have loved to join physically there for this particular event. But due to many circumstances, I'm not able to come there at this point in time. But I greatly appreciate this opportunity for being able to share a few moments on this historic moment of the first national conference organized by the National Innovation and Digital Network. I was just introduced recently by the speaker. Just wanted to reiterate exactly my role in the government that I had in the government of India and some other aspects of my previous experience, because the topic is all about innovation. I was the first mission director or the former mission director of the Atal Innovation Mission. This is a national mission directly operating under the Prime Minister's guidance. It reports to the PMO under the auspices of the NITI Ayog, the National Institution for Transforming India. And what is more important than innovation and entrepreneurship for transforming a country? We are a country in India with 1.3 billion people. We have more than 1.4 million schools. We have 10,500 engineering and related institutions. We have 39,000 colleges. We have 150 million young students who are going to be entering into the workplace in the next 4 to 5 years. We are also a country with 650,000 villages, more than 715 districts. We have 8,000 small towns and cities in our country, and we have only 8 tier 1 cities like Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, Madras, and so on, where people try to flock to, migrate to, in order to improve the quality of their lives and find livelihoods. Now, that's clearly an unsustainable proposition for this country or for any country for that matter. What is important is to ensure that not only the GDP of a country grows, but the social conditions, the ability to be able to empower our people in the most rural of districts and enable them to have better lives is very, very important. And that is why the Atal Innovation Mission was formed, to create and promote a vibrant ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship across the length and breadth of the country. And that is, I think, very relevant to this particular conference. How can you create a vibrant ecosystem of innovation, entrepreneurship, and startups across the length and breadth of Nepal? And why is innovation becoming so important? There are 3 very important reasons. The earlier speaker, Oliver, already mentioned that we are a globally connected world. In a globally connected world, we are not only dependent on the rest of the world, but we are also a source of reliable dependence for the rest of the world. So this is a very important factor. Nepal is an important contributor to the rest of the world, as well as it is dependent upon the rest of the world for its own growth and for its own prosperity. The second is we are living in a world where technology is changing the very shape of the world that we are all living in. We have technology changing your experience of the world and the way the world is experiencing you. So today, because of digital technology, I am able to be present in a conference several thousand miles away from where I am, but be able to participate, listen to, share, and learn from this particular experience. 3D printing is revolutionizing the way you can manufacture, design, and develop a product right from your own small house, from your grocery store, from your lab in the school. And that is revolutionizing the way you can drive the manufacturing industry. You have a thriving manufacturing industry in Bhairava, Birganj, and so on. And how do we ensure that 3D printing gets integrated into the manufacturing processes of the small, micro, small, medium enterprises? Robotics is driving the next degree of automation. And as the earlier speaker pointed out, it is being applied in various areas, whether it is in agriculture, whether it is in manufacturing, whether it is in food processing, and so on, because it increases the productivity, it increases the reliability, as well as it increases the ability for you to be able to distribute your products very quickly. Sensor technologies are being integrated into man, machine, device, soil, and space. And this sensor technologies are providing us valuable data upon which we can act upon. And I saw the video earlier, a data-driven Nepal. How do you ensure that sensor technologies capture all the real data that is very relevant and be able to process them at lightning speeds with supercomputing, nanocomputing, and so on? Computing has advanced so that microelectronics and affordable electronics and affordable computing technologies are now at your doorstep. And finally, you have cloud services and digital reach, which enables you to market your product, your service from Nepal to New York, from Salem to Seattle, from Jodhpur to Japan. And that is the power of digital technology and digital reach. So the world is your stage. Anything that you manufacture, any product that you create is having now the ability to reach across to any part of the world and thereby generate economic benefit as well as value to the producer of that product or the producer of that service. And therefore, my dear friends, technology has become affordable, accessible, available, and advanced. And that is why we need to encourage the leveraging of technology by your young students, by the young growing population in Nepal. empower them with this technology, and be able to ensure that they acquire a problem-solving, innovative, entrepreneurial mindset, which is going to enable the growth of their own families, their economic benefit, but also be able to contribute to the rest of the world. And the third very important fact that is happening today is that this technology can be implemented, and innovation has to start at the grassroots level. This is why the Atal Innovation Mission, which I had the great fortune to be associated as a mission director, has set up 10,000 tinkering labs in schools from grade 6 to grade 12. Why are we setting up tinkering labs, and what is this tinkering lab? This tinkering lab is an innovation lab where the latest of technologies like 3D printing, robotics, IoT, miniaturized electronics, augmented reality, and virtual reality is being made available as do-it-yourself kits to the young school students, so that they acquire a problem-solving, innovative mindset from the school level, not focusing on rote learning that has been the traditional form of learning, but to be able to actually acquire a tinkering attitude towards technology, because these technologies are creating the solutions of the future. And so we have today more than 4 million schools in our country, 4 million students in our country who are accessing these technologies and creating wonderful innovations. A girls' school in a remote area like Salem, which many of you would not even know. It is in the coastal districts of Tamil Nadu, where only irrigation and farming is the only occupation. You have this bunch of young girl students in grade 8 to grade 12 creating a solar panel, IoT-based irrigation management system. So I think it is very important when we talk of innovation in Nepal is how do you instill this problem-solving, innovative mindset in the school students of Nepal, because they are the future generation of your country. And then you have universities setting up incubators who can foster startups. Today, that environment in India has increased tremendously, and we can collaborate with Nepal in order to bring that benefit. Out of these incubators in universities has sprung 88,000 startups and 108 unicorns just in the last 5 years, and has propelled India from a global innovation index from a position of 41 to a position of from position of 81 to a position of 41 just in 5 years. Now that is what we need to do in Nepal, so that can we create that vibrant ecosystem that will benefit your agriculture industry, your forestry. More than 65% of the people of Nepal are involved in agriculture. More than 41% of your land is forestry. And then you have large river systems which can generate hydroelectric power, which can transform commerce and manufacturing capability in the country. And then you have tourism, which is now centered in the Kathmandu Valley, but can you extend it to the Pokhara region, the Narayani region, and the Everest region for you be able to leverage augmented reality, virtual reality devices to extend the power of tourism to the rest of the world, for them to get a virtual capture of what Nepal is all about and draw them to your country, creating tremendous economic benefit. And finally, in all of this, we need to ensure that we are aware about the importance of climate change. Nowhere else than Nepal is the importance is it so important, because you're surrounded by mountains and you want to ensure that environmental disaster does not affect and create earthquakes and other important, other devastating impact on that region and surrounding regions. And you can leverage technology beneficially to create sustainable development goals related innovations. All of this is what I think Nepal can harness and can benefit from and should learn by collaboration and global collaboration that such a platform is enabling all of you. Thank you so much for allowing me to share a few thoughts on this particular occasion. And I do hope I get a chance to come to your wonderful country and be able to participate in the innovative growth of your country. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to R. Ramanand sir, and you're welcome any day, 24/7, sir, 365 days a year. Welcome to our country. And like you mentioned, the future is our kids, school, colleges, universities. We have to strengthen them, and we definitely will in the coming days, coming years. Officially, we'd like to begin, and right at this moment, I'd like to request everybody to kindly rise up for our national anthem. We'd like to officially inaugurate the event. Thank you so much.
सार्वभौम फैलिएका मेची महाकाली सायो थुङ्गा फुलका हामी एउटै माला नेपाली सार्वभौम फैलिएका मेची महाकाली प्रकृतिका कोटि कोटि सम्पदाको आचल वीरहरूका रगतले स्वतन्त्र अटल ज्ञान भूमि शान्ति भूमि तराई पहाड हिमाल अखण्ड यो प्यारो हाम्रो मातृभूमि नेपाल बहु जाति भाषा धर्म संस्कृति छन् विशाल अग्रगामी राष्ट्र हाम्रो जय जय नेपाल।
म हाम्रो टिमलाई रिक्वेस्ट गर्न चाहन्छु to kindly play the NAST song. हामी वेलकम स्पीच तर्फ लाग्नुभन्दा अगाडि म रविन्द्र सरलाई पनि रिक्वेस्ट गर्छु टु हेल्प मी मलाई मद्दत गरिदिनु होला। हामी डिजिटली चाहिँ रेगुलरली यो बडो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ कुरा रहेको छ। हामी रेगुलरली दीप प्रज्वलन गर्छौँ कार्यक्रम सुरुवात गरिसकेपछि होइन, सबैजनाले देख्नु पनि भएको छ होला। वी लाइट द फानस एन्ड वी अफिसियली बिगेन द प्रोग्राम हियर इन नेपाल टु आवर फ्रेन्ड्स फ्रम अब्रॉड। But today, it's very innovative day, and I'm very excited for this to see it with my own eyes as well. We're going to do this digitally, and I'd like to request Sanjay to help me out right here as well, and also Ravindra sir to help me out as well. We'd like to request our Honorable Minister to kindly do it with us. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. It's very interesting. I'd like to request for the welcome speech Chief of Faculty and Technology and Coordinator, as well as NITN, Nepal Academy of Science and Technology of Nepal Government. It's a pleasure to have with us Dr. Rabindra Prasad Thakal for the welcome speech. Sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sanjay. Very good morning to everyone. I am Rabindra Thakal. I'm working at Nepal Academy of Science and Technology as a faculty chief, as he has kindly introduced me before. Respected Chairman of the Conference and Secretary of the NAST, Dr. Mahesh Kumar Adhikari. We believe that we would have our Right Honorable Prime Minister of Nepal, Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda, would be here, but because of some unavoidable circumstances, he designated our Honorable Minister, Ministry of Science and Technology, Mr. Shishir Khanal, as a government head to represent the Nepal government. So I acknowledge his presence as a chief guest in our event. Honorable Minister, Mr. Shishir Khanal, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. Secretary, Mrs. Pramila Devi Bajracharya, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. And I have seen that Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University and Midwestern University present with us. Academicians of NAST. We have two brilliant motivators for the innovator. As a keynote speaker here, we already have Mr. R. Ramanan, former missions director, Atul Innovations Missions, Niti Ayog, who was virtually present with us, and Mr. Oliver Tian, the Vice President, Global Robotics Center, who have already delivered his wonderful keynote speech to us. And we have received the David Arnold, the delegate head of the Board of Trustees representing the Asia Foundations Nepal. And I have seen the panelists, moderators, and presenter here who will conduct the brainstorming sessions afternoon. And the deans, faculty heads of the academy and the university, scientists, innovator, professional media persons, ladies and gentlemen. Very good morning to one and all present here. As a highlight, I have seen that we have listened Mr. Raman Atal Innovations Missions, which is the government of India's flagship initiative to create and promote the culture of innovations and entrepreneurship across the India and which is popular worldwide also. Mr. Oliver, who accepted our invitations in a short notice and managed to fly to share his experiences, is highly motivated business and software development manager with the strong communications, negotiation, and stakeholder engagement skills. Thank you very much for giving such a wonderful speech to us. As we know that innovations is very much enriched for the country like Nepal. It can drastically change how Nepal develops culturally, socially, economically. Nepal bears the brunt of many natural and human-induced disasters that affect individuals and businesses. We have seen the impact of earthquakes, floods, fires, landslide, pandemic, and other pandemics. Innovations need to encourage, manage, to better prepare for the disaster in the community and businesses. Resilient business and commercializations of innovations will lead to the growth of Nepal's economy as well. The major outcome of that we expect from this conference is a national and international framework for the changing innovation ecosystem and how it can be inclined with the concept of the crisis management and major issues of the country that we are currently facing. We'll also be talking about the excavating National Science, Technology and Innovation Policy 2076, which is recently promulgated by the Nepal government that has to be discussed among the brilliant and expert groups in the country. And we will discuss about the national policies supportive of the innovation and step for the policy alignment as well. And we also discuss redefining innovations to unlock the economic growth, which is very important to connect to the market and the country and the people's need. And that could be connected to the increasing country's GDP as well. And we also need to, we will also going to discuss about the exploring innovation areas, discussing on a way for the future innovation priority areas for the plans sectors where innovations is needed, and connecting with the global innovations as well. And finally, in another panel discussions, we will discuss about the building innovations ecosystem for sustainable existence, which is very important, and discussing the innovations ecosystem and strengthening them. What is one message or action that they would recommend? So yes, in summary, we want the flourishing innovations ecosystem in the country, for which we have National Innovation Digital Network, which is an initiative to bring all the innovator industries, government and non-governmental agencies together in a single platform in the country to promote and foster the mutual learning and support further development and growth of innovative initiatives. The ultimate goal of this network is to support the innovator to scale up their innovations and contribute to the economic growth of Nepal. Nepal Academy of Science and Technology, together with the organizations from both private and non-profit sector, came up with the idea of National Innovation Digital Network during the early days of COVID-19 in the country, when the government of Nepal wanted to know who is doing what, where, around the country in response to COVID-19 mitigations and adaptation process. In these connections, National Innovation Digital Network, NAST, is organizing first National Innovation Conference 2023, Rooting for Innovation and Shaping the Future, an event on the 24th January today, 2023 at NAST premises. This first National Innovation Conference is necessary to boost our R&D, achieve the sustainable development goals, bring together innovation champions, and maximize their role and identify ways to strengthen Nepal's positive positions in the Global Innovations Index. We are trying our best to bring all together, academia, government, and service practitioner in a collegial and stimulating environment in a single platform. We also highlight some lightning sessions focused on Industry 4.0 as well at the last. We have invited the innovators of the country with their products displayed in our exhibition stall. Please do visit them also. Encourage them, learn, lesson from your peer, and support our initiatives as you can. Lastly, I would like to highlight what I'm doing in very brief about the NAST activities. Even though it's a very small mission, we have a satellite mission, that nano satellite we have already launched, having the national flag and the NAST logo in it. And it has been orbited some 2.5 years ago, but it has been already dropped. So I think we are trying to give another satellite development mission in the academy. So a high school student, they are building the nano satellite, and we are trying to launch by 2023 as well. In the waste management schemes, we also supported municipal, local government, and then we conduct our research activities to manage the waste plastic, waste of organic and degradable wastage. And ICT literacy and ICT competency is very much important, and the country need. So in these connections, with the collaborations with the Korean government, we have established one very good information access center in the academy. It has been supported and it has been contributed by the expert group from the South Korea. And fortunately, this year we have received the best center in the world, having one mobile bus which has the IT facilities, and we can travel all the way to the countries where the people need. And to sensitize and to trigger the innovations in the country, we regularly organize the Innovation Talk series. And we have already arranged Innovation Talk series as a 8th, and this is the first conference that we organize in the academy. So research grants for the innovators, we all regularly offer. And we also provide the makers space for the innovator and industrial profiling of our traditional as well as bigger industries. We have also conducting from our academy in associations with the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, and the Supplies. So these are some activities that we are doing from our academy. In addition to that, there are a lot of research activities going on. You can visit the Faculty of Science or Faculty of Technology, which is open for today to any visitors that you wish to visit our laboratory, and you can also visit the stall there is. So finally, I would like to thank UKAID, the Asia Foundations for their financial support. Because of that support, we are here, and we are organizing this event. And then National Innovation Digital Network has been formed with the support of this, support from the finance, not only financial support, but we work together to establish the National Innovation Digital Network, where all innovators can come to a single platform and they can contribute their, or they can generate their profile, and they can mention their issues and status as well. And we also get support from the Tayar Nepal US Foundations, FNCCI, Government of Nepal, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology for all their cordial support, encouragement, and being part of the conference. We are very thankful to all of them, and thanks to the TechPana as a media partner. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to again welcome you for this event, for this conference in a single day. But I think we will try to maximize the brainstorming sessions to goes down to the people and innovator so that the innovations could be flourish in the coming days. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ravinder sir, for such an amazing welcome address. I would like to go ahead and mention that we are live on various social media sites. I'd like to thank all of them. We are live on TechPana, on their Facebook, as well as on their YouTube channel. Thank you very much to all the friends watching. We are live on Facebook pages of NAST, RAN, NIDN, TAF, as well as NOXA Facebook page. So thank you very much for all the sites. सँगसँगै केही प्रश्न सोध्न चाहनुहुन्छ भने चाहिँ केही स्पेसिफिक क्वेसन्सहरू चाहिँ सोध्न चाहनुहुन्छ भने चाहिँ डाउनलोड गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ एपको नाम रहेको छ इभेन्ट्समो EVENTSMO र प्रोग्रामको डिटेल सँगसँगै चाहिँ केही प्रश्नहरू रहेका छन् भने त्यो चाहिँ एप मार्फत पनि सोध्न सक्नुहुन्छ कन्फरेन्सको डिटेल्स पनि र innovationnepal.nast.gov.np मा पनि गएर चाहिँ केही प्रश्नहरू सोध्न चाहनुहुन्छ भने त्यो पनि त्यहाँ चाहिँ लेखिदिन सक्नुहुन्छ भनेर चाहिँ मलाई टिमले चाहिँ रिक्वेस्ट गर्नुभएको छ। सँगसँगै अलिकति स्पेसको कमी भएको छ भने चाहिँ हामीले माथि भ्युइङ पनि गरिरहेका छौँ र बाहिर पनि मोस्ट प्रब्ली हामीले भ्युइङ गरिरहेका छौँ। त्यो पनि एउटा जानकारी चाहिँ टिमले मलाई दिनुभएको थियो, सो त्यो पनि गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। अगाडि बढ्दै म रिक्वेस्ट गर्न चाहन्छु co-founder of Naksha app, as well as he's also the NIDN committee member. I'd like to welcome him for the presentation on National Innovation Digital Network, Arun Bhandari. Arun, all yours.
Thank you, Sanjay. Good morning, everyone. Honorable Minister and distinguished guests. My name is Arun Bhandari. I am a co-founder of Naksha. It's not an app yet, but it's a company. I'm also the committee member of the National Innovation Digital Network, which is organizing this event. And I'm also the president of Nepal Geomatics Engineering Society. So to reduce my time here, I have prepared a video that will aid me. So requesting the team to play the video. With the audio. It's not audible. Won't save my time that way.
March 24, 2020. After the coronavirus started spreading in Nepal rapidly, the country declared a nationwide lockdown. Suddenly, business as usual came to a halt and citizens had to stay indoors with a frightening atmosphere and an uncertain future. Crisis, however, is the cradle for innovation. The government, organizations, and individuals started playing their parts by working on solutions that could aid in containing the spread of the virus. Robots were developed to avoid physical contact in health centers. Data portals with COVID-19 statistics and awareness materials were developed overnight. Swab collection centers were custom designed. Drones were deployed for surveillance. Innovators across the country self-organized themselves proactively to contribute however they could. A COVID crisis management committee was formed by the government with sector experts to strategically counter the crisis. However, questions like who is doing what and where remain difficult to answer. Innovations had to be identified by the solution type, status of the solution, geography, replicability, and scalability. To solve this, the Nepal Academy of Science and Technology, in partnership with the Asia Foundation, Robotics Association of Nepal, and NACSA, envisioned the National Innovation Digital Network. The first goal of the network was to identify innovations against COVID-19 and develop a digital archive of their status, effectiveness, and geographic coverage. NIDN started off as an initiative to bring together innovators, industry, government, and non-government organizations and create a platform for cross-learning, support, and growth. This included a digital platform that mapped innovations and a series of InnoTalks where innovators and support systems came together to discuss the needs, problems, solutions, and innovation ecosystem in general. Beyond the COVID pandemic, NIDN has been open to all kinds of innovations in the country. From digital solutions engaging artificial intelligence and machine learning to physical solutions to contemporary problems, innovators of all kinds and scales have registered in the platform. The NIDN team conducted innovation exhibitions across all provinces in the country and onboarded innovators who are working in remote locations in silos. A dialect on the need for an innovation culture and support system across all sectors and geographies was started. As an effort to mainstream innovation at federal, provincial, as well as local levels of governance, NIDN organizes InnoTalks that focus on strategies and policies to identify, encourage, support, and scale up innovations. The digital portal allows industries and organizations to enlist their grants and call for solutions. Investors can find innovators and the technologies to invest in. The government can seek appropriate solutions to the problems it aims to solve. Innovators can explore potential support systems, network, partner with other innovations, and make the impact they intend to. Further, NIDN will continue to improvise its digital platform and InnoTalk series, praise innovators and industries, liaise for policies to foster an innovation culture, and help innovators throughout their journeys of creating impactful innovations.
Thank you, and that was some of my job. That was my voice actually. So I'd like to start my presentation now. Team. So with that background, with some sense of what NIDN and the National Innovation Digital Network is and what we're doing, I'd like to start next. Okay, so NIDN, the portal, it's a digital platform that was developed during the COVID period, but is now not just limited to COVID-related innovations. It's a digital platform, is accessible to everyone. The motive is to connect innovators with the industry and also provide support systems to people who are trying to innovate in their sectors. But like fostering innovations and empowering innovators needs some explorations. We need to find where the innovators are. We need to identify and curate them to some extent. And we need to connect them to the industry and support systems. And that needs a lot of piloting and scaling up works. So that's the overall target of the National Innovation Digital Network. Not just the technical system, but also in other activities that we're doing, including this conference. So what does it mean? How do we do that? We find out where innovations are across the country. We make innovators register themselves into the portal. We map their geographic locations, their areas of impact, where they are working, or it can be nationwide or international as well. We try to find out support systems. We support them with knowledge base and research and development that NAST has a strong backing in. And we help them launch and scale and pilot their solutions to make a bigger impact. That is the overall motive of the network, not just the digital system, but we also realize that it's not just about a digital system, it's also a lot of talking that needs to be done. So we talk about innovation. We have talks, Nava Pravartan Ka Kura, that we organize a lot. We also explore for innovators. We head out to provinces and maybe moving forward municipalities as well and find innovators. And we liaise for policy changes as well. So this is the overall motive and the way we work at the NIDN. But if we look at what we've done so far, we have about 60 to 70 innovators listed in our platform. And this is the geographic disaggregation of the number of innovators. And you can see the province with the most number of innovations is Bagmati, obviously. And we realize that accessibility and connectivity play a vital role in creating the innovative ecosystem. There's also a need to explore, talk, and support innovators more proactively. It won't just happen. And we also realize that local problems need local solutions, and local governments who are the major executive body now, they will have a big role in fostering innovations. Municipal level idea banks should be prioritized moving forward. So this is some glimpses of the provincial level innovation exhibitions that we conducted. Last year, we went out to all the provinces and invited the local innovators to present their innovations. We have registered them in our platform as well, and we are working with them continuously in providing the support system they require in order to scale their products. InnoTalk, we have conducted 8 InnoTalks so far. This is the 9th, if we call it, but this is the first innovation conference. So we'll continue with our 9th InnoTalk after this conference. But this is all about discussing the needs, actually. So how can we enable the environment for innovations moving forward? How can NIDN do its work? And how can the rest of the stakeholders, private companies, government, NGOs, how can they play their parts? Moving forward, at NIDN, we have a few plans. So the first one is to actually open innovation grants through the portal. So if innovators register themselves into the portal, what are they getting directly? So we will be providing them with the information on what the opportunities have come, and that will include innovation grants. The first will be the NAST Innovation Grant, and we'll also be working with other stakeholders to open their call for solutions or call for proposals through the portal. We'll also be working with municipalities to create the municipal data banks, idea banks in the portal, and that will help us get a lot of innovators that are working at the local level in the platform. And the other thing that we plan on is to visualize the National Innovation Index. Nepal is ranked, I think, 105th in the world, and degraded from 95 last year. So we don't know that, and that needs to be visualized, and a lot of people have to know that, where we stand. And so the NIDN will do that. And we'll also be working on technical enhancements as well as outreach and exploration that we have been doing. And we will also be building a lot of partnerships, collaborations, and support systems will be brought into the system. To get on board, as innovators, you will have to register your innovation into the portal. You can seek support and get exposure from there. As organizations, you can call for innovations. If you're supporting innovators, you can explore what kind of innovations there are in the platform and you can support. And also, as individuals, if you're trying to innovate but haven't found the right partners, you can find innovators that are like-minded. And also, you can freely talk about innovation, which we do in our InnoTalks. So thank you very much. I hope you'll have a great day today. There are a lot of good sessions after this. This is probably the last organizer-focused session. After this, you'll have a lot of panel discussions and lightning talks. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arun. And earlier, apologies, I said Noxa app and it was your company. Apologies for that. It's a fantastic day for me to sit and learn as well throughout the day. So I'm really excited to go ahead and sit and learn and soak in a lot of information throughout the day. So I'm really excited for that. It's a pleasure to invite up on the podium President and CEO of the Asia Foundation. Please put your hands together and help me welcome David D. Arnold.
Well, thank you very much. Honorable Minister of Science, Information and Technology, Mr. Sushil Kanal. The Honorable Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Pramila Devi Bhattacharya, Secretary of NAST, Dr. Mahesh Kumar Adhikari, our distinguished keynote speaker, Mr. Oliver Tian, policymakers, academicians, innovators, international development specialists, welcome to this conference. For me, it's an enormous pleasure to be a part of this first National Innovation Conference, a first gathering of people from different sectors that share a common interest and passion for advancing the innovation agenda for Nepal. In being part of the first conference, I have enormous confidence that this will not be the last conference. This will be, I hope, become an annual event and something that brings together people that have that shared interest and passion for innovation and technology here in Nepal. So we think about the agenda for innovation. It seems to me that the innovation ecosystem that we've talked about and alluded to, other speakers have mentioned, has at least 4 major elements to it. And those elements involve different actors and different players from different sectors. A major element of that is creating the enabling environment for innovation. And here government has a critical role to play, not only in supporting basic science and research, but also facilitating new technologies, startups, providing incentives and encouraging investment in emerging technologies, and helping to create networks and link innovators, entrepreneurs, and industry in ways that will translate into the economic benefits that technology and innovation have to offer for emerging economies such as Nepal. Second critical element is access to technology, and here a country like Nepal faces particular challenges. We learned yesterday, for example, in speaking with our team of our colleagues working on creating access to digital children's books, a library of a digital library of local language children's books, that one of the barriers Nepal faces is that only the internet penetration rate here is only about 38%. So large swaths of the country really don't have access even to basic literacy materials that are available in local languages for children. So the issue of access to advanced technology, whether cloud computing and big data, genetic engineering, drones and robotics, fintech, blockchain, to use some of the phrases, vocabulary of this sector, is something that countries like Nepal really need to concentrate on and find solutions to help make access more widely available. Third is really the dangers of the so-called digital divide, the technology haves and have-nots. And this is particularly for Nepal and other developing nations, a special challenge. How do you ensure that the benefits of innovation and technology development are widely shared, and that this becomes part of an agenda for inclusive growth and development, and not something that simply widens existing social, economic, and other inequalities. And fourth is the human capital dimension. We've alluded to the importance of creating innovators right from early elementary through university. But access to STEM education, particularly for women, digital skills and digital literacy, entrepreneurship skills, all of these are part of the human dimension, which I think is one of the most important elements of the innovation ecosystem that we're trying to nurture and support. A few words about the Asia Foundation. We are a 70-year-old organization. We operate in 18 countries across Asia and the Pacific. And our focus is really on improving lives and expanding opportunities in a dynamic and developing Asia-Pacific region. Our Board of Trustee delegation is here to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Asia Foundation's office here in Nepal. And over those 3 decades, the Asia Foundation has been a contributor to innovations in a variety of areas, social innovation, support for policy solutions, work on community-based mediation, work on creating multi-stakeholder dialogues. So both in the social arena, in the political and policy arena, and in the economic arena, innovation has been a major component and driving element of our work here. Let me give you just a few examples. In 2019, the foundation helped to seed and support a disaster information management system called BiPAD, which has come a long way in developing solutions to prepare and respond to times of disaster, such as Nepal experienced in 2015 with a major earthquake. Drawing on data from remote sensing, GIS, and open source data, and also promoting science and technology to advance communication and information dissemination. All of this has been a part of the BiPAD innovation. And as a result, it's created a national portal that's embedded with independent platforms for national, provincial, and municipal governments to respond rapidly and to anticipate disasters as they take place. Foundations also supported innovative solutions such as a mobile phone application called Shubha Yatra, which is designed to encourage safe migration for Nepali migrant workers migrating to other Asian and Middle Eastern countries. I've mentioned already the Let's Read digital library for children's local language books. And earlier it was mentioned that the foundation has been an active supporter and participant in the National Innovation Digital Network. And one of the innovations that grew out of that network during the COVID crisis was called Mission Oxygen Tank, which helped provide basic information on the availability of ICU beds, trained engineers that can help fix and install life-saving equipment, collect data on the availability of the equipment, and fix and install oxygen tanks and as they were needed across Nepal. The foundation continues to support Mission Oxygen Team, working with the Ministry of Health and Population to help make the system even more robust and user-friendly. And on the human capital front, through a variety of programs, our Asia Foundation Development Fellows, Lead Next, which is a program for next generation emerging leaders from across Asia, our scholarships for women in STEM. The foundation is really helping to support the next generation of innovators and leaders that are really going to carry this agenda forward. So in summary, going forward, we're committed to improving lives and expanding opportunities here in Nepal by strengthening the innovation ecosystem that helps give business opportunities to take risks, the government a role to create an enabling environment, and provides support for the scientists and innovators to create disruptive but innovative solutions. Before closing, I just want to say a word of thanks to the cohorts and partners for this first conference, our friends at NAST, the Robotics Association of Nepal, and NACSA, and of course, our sponsors for this effort, UKAID, USAID, and the government of Nepal. So without further ado, let me turn the podium over, and I look forward to the conversations that will be taking place here over the next several hours. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, as well as a big thank you to the Asia Foundation for being a big support. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure for me to go ahead and invite on the podium म निम्त्याउन चाहन्छु our chief guest, Honorable Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Shishir Khanal. Please put your hands together.
Thank you, Sanjay. The chairperson of the session, Secretary of NAST, Secretary of Ministry of Science, Education, Science and Technology, dignitaries, academicians, young innovators, scientists, development partners, our international delegates. It's such a pleasure to be here with you this morning, especially at a very early stage of my role. It's just been about a week since I've assumed office as the Minister of Science and Technology, and I'm in the process of understanding how to become a minister in Nepal. In that stage, just to be at a space where we're thinking about innovation, future, and moving forward. Those are the things that excite me, and to come to be with the people who are thinking about these things at this stage of my role, I think will shape my career, both in politics, but also in the ministry. So for that, I want to express my gratitude to the organizers. I feel that Nepal and countries like Nepal are in interesting crossroads. In public health, there is a term called double burden. And I think in the context of Nepal, the double burden applies to education as well. What I mean by that is at a place, oftentimes when we talk about innovation, we're always thinking about future technologies. We're talking about AI, we're talking about big data, we're talking about Internet of Things. But the truth is, we're at a space where I was being briefed about, and having worked in education for last decade or so, I'm also fully aware that only about 8% children at the grade 5 are learning at their grade level. As David mentioned earlier, only about 38% people in Nepal have access to internet. Many of our rural communities do not have access to basic electricity. Therefore, from that space, from that reality, we have to think about these emerging technology, nanotechnology, space science, and all that. And that place is a place to be humbling, but at the same time, I feel what is there, the reality, and what is possible. This is both exciting, but that's the space of innovation. That's, I think, where this community of innovators, community of scientists, community of entrepreneurs would need to come together to say that where do we stand, how far can we go, and how fast can we go. We unfortunately do not have luxury to take the same path the Western countries had. Through the process of shaping our economy, but there's so much for us to catch up. And sort of status quo, the way we've run our governments, our communities, our societies, both in Nepal and globally, does not give us luxury anymore, given biggest challenge we're facing. We don't fully know how AI will shape the countries, the communities, and the future. We also do not know how climate change will impact our lives. And from that space, we simply need to find technologies that are right for Nepali communities. We're a country where we import almost everything we consume, from rice to modern technologies. How do we become producer? Our challenge in front of us is how do we become producer of these things, whether it's about agricultural productions. How do we ensure that almost 500,000 people, young people who leave this country every single day to find job opportunity, we can retain them? How do we ensure that over 100,000 Nepali young people who left Nepal to study outside of Nepal, especially in Europe, America, Australia last year, how do we make sure that we can retain those talents and use that human capital for innovation to move this country forward? Those are the biggest questions that we have in front of us as I take this role. But I'm also glad that we're amongst the group of young people, mostly young people in this hall, we're coming together to ask these difficult questions in presence of leadership of NAST, in presence of our international partners, global supporters, to find solutions to some of these most difficult questions. And I think the conference, the first conference on innovation, it's so rightfully organized at this point. And the ministry has already a policy in place on national science and technology, wherein we're currently working on an action plan, and I'm really hoping that this conference will provide inputs so that we can align our current action plan, the draft action plan, so that we can move that forward in a few weeks' time. I would have loved to stay in the conference throughout the day, but I have parliamentary duties this afternoon, so I'll probably miss most of the session, but I look forward to catching up later in the afternoon to hear the summary of the discussion and how we can take what you've discussed today and create a national action plan to create an environment for innovation, create an ecosystem where we can support our scientists, innovators, and scale entrepreneurs' business ideas. Thank you again to the organizers. I end today with the hope that this conference becomes the beginning where we can take the ideas of innovation, have a broader conversation about innovations, and create solutions to some of the biggest problems we're facing in Nepal today. Thank you.
I'd like to go ahead and thank the Honorable Minister, as well as I still remember. I just want to go ahead and say 2 words. I still remember the conversation we had before your election, during when we sat down for the podcast, and we had a brief conversation at that time. And I still remember the promise that a day is gonna come when we'll spend more time together, and I'd love to take your maybe an hour of your time on a holiday. शनिबारको दिन मोस्ट प्रोबेबली बिहान तक हजुर फ्री भएको बेलामा अर्को एउटा 1 घण्टा पाएँ भने चाहिँ अन्य धेरै प्रश्नहरू चाहिँ सोध्ने मौका मैले त्यो समयमा पनि पाउँथेँ होला, र अहिले हजुरले भने जस्तै राइट ठाउँमा हुनुहुन्छ, र आई एम स्योर त्यो जुन अघि नै मिनिस्टरले भन्दा भन्दै हामीले ब्लू प्रिन्टको कुराकानी एउटा उहाँले चक्क अलिकति राख्नु भएको थियो, जसरी रोड म्याप र ब्लू प्रिन्ट जुन आज बन्छ त्यसले भोलि मात्र होइन, त्यसले एक वर्ष मात्र होइन, अब दशक डेकेड्स चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ यङ जेनेरेसनलाई चाहिँ र अब आउने जेनेरेसनलाई चाहिँ सेप गर्न सक्छौँ जस्तो लाग्छ. Honorable Minister, best wishes to you from our side as well, and again, love to get more of your time in the future. I was just notified that we will be presenting a token of love to our chief guest along with our other dignitaries. So I'd like to go ahead and request the NAS team to kindly help me with that, as well as I'd like to go ahead and request Ravinder sir if you could support me in this, and we'd like to go ahead and conclude shortly. And then we'll head on towards the panel discussions throughout the day. No problem, no problem. I'd like to go ahead and request the NAS team to get the token of appreciation so that we could present it to our chief guest, and then of course we'll head on towards our other dignitaries as well. One more time, भर्खरै हामीलाई चाहिँ यो समयमा प्रत्यक्ष रूपमा डिजिटल माध्यमहरू मार्फत अथवा टेलिभिजन रेडियो मार्फत हामीलाई यो समयमा सुन्दै हुनुहुन्छ भने फर्स्ट नेसनल इनोभेसन कन्फरेन्स 2023 मा चाहिँ हामी छौँ र आज दिनभरि थ्रु आउट द डे अलिकति रिक्याप गर्दाखेरि हामी हुन्छ हस् हामी प्यानल डिस्कसन्सतर्फ चाहिँ केही समयमा लाग्नेछौँ. अहिलेको लागि I'd like to go ahead and request the NAS team. There you go, we have the tokens ready, and we will head on towards it as we move along. I'd like to go ahead and request Ravinder sir, will you help me with this? I'd like to go ahead and request the Secretary of NAS, Dr. Mahesh K. Adhikari, to kindly help me present the token of love to, starting off with our Chief Guest, Honorable Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Shishir Khanna. I'd like to go ahead and request Dr. Adhikari to kindly present the token of love to David Arnold, the President of and CEO of the Asia Foundation. I'd like to go ahead and invite Sherry Arnold, if you could kindly join us. Yes, I have a great Ryan Haas, if you could kindly join us. We have we'd love to have you right here with us. Thank you so much, sir. I'd like to go ahead and request Ambassador Robert Blake, if you could kindly join us as well as Sophia Blake, ma'am, if you could kindly join us as well. I'd like to say this right before. If I pronounce your name incorrectly, I apologize for that. I'd like to go ahead and invite Shing Eikenberry. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. She's not here with us. Megan Nalbo, if you could kindly join us. I'd like to go ahead and request Tim Coaches, if you could kindly join us. And apologies if I pronounce it incorrectly. I'd like to request Deanne Ware, if you could kindly join us. Ruby Hang, I believe, if you could kindly join us, ma'am. Thank you so much. Gordon Hay, if you could kindly join us. Stephanie Fye, if you could kindly join us, ma'am. I'd like to go ahead and request our keynote speaker, Oliver Tian, if you could kindly join us, sir. I'd like to go ahead and request Preeti Thapa, if you could kindly join us. As well as I'd like to go ahead and request Carolyn O'Donnell, if you could kindly join us. The team is definitely working on that. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to go ahead and thank you for your time, as well as I'd like to go ahead and take a short tea break, and then we'll be back with our panel discussions for throughout the day. So do join us. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Thank you very much, distinguished guests. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a short tea break.
टेक्नोलोजीको प्रविधि संकाय प्रमुख र नास्टको प्रवक्ताको भूमिकामा पनि छु। नेपाल विज्ञान तथा प्रविधि प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठानले नवप्रवर्धन सम्बन्धी विविध कार्यहरू गर्दै आइराखेको छ। त्यसै क्रममा हामी यही माघ 10 गते नेपाल विज्ञान तथा प्रविधि प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठानको सभा हलभित्र नै प्रथम राष्ट्रिय सम्मेलन गर्दैछौँ नवप्रवर्धन सम्बन्धी। त्यस कार्यक्रमको संयोजनकारी भूमिका पनि मैले खेलिराखेको छु र हामी यहाँ इनोभेटरहरू नेपालभरि छरिएर रहनुभएका सम्पूर्ण इनोभेटरहरूलाई आमन्त्रण गरिराखेका छौँ। यो क्रममा यहाँहरूको उपस्थिति र यहाँहरूको मार्गनिर्देशन र यहाँहरूका अपेक्षाहरू पनि सेयर गर्ने एउटा मौका उपलब्ध गराइदिनु भयो भने यो हाम्रो लागि र समग्र देशको लागि इनोभेसन अथवा नवप्रवर्तनको सम्वर्धनको लागि अहम भूमिका खेल्छ भन्ने हामीले विश्वास लिएका छौँ र यहाँहरूको उपस्थितिको हामी अपेक्षा गर्दछौँ। हस्, धन्यवाद।
नमस्कार, म गोविन्दराज पोखरेल। नास्टले यही माघ 10 गते इनोभेसन कन्फरेन्स गर्दैछ। त्यो कन्फरेन्समा हुने थुप्रै सेसनमा म एउटा सेसनको प्यानलिस्ट हुनेछु र त्यहाँ नेपाल लगायत अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय स्तरमा भएका थुप्रै इनोभेसनको बारेमा चर्चा छलफल हुनेछ। यहाँहरूले त्यो स्थानबाट जानकारी लिनको लागि त्यो इनोभेसन कन्फरेन्समा भाग लिन हुन म विनम्र अनुरोध गर्दछु।
नमस्कार, मेरो नाम महावीर पुन हो। म राष्ट्रिय आविष्कार केन्द्रको अध्यक्षको रूपमा काम गरिरहेको छु र राष्ट्रिय आविष्कार केन्द्रमा हामीले विभिन्न किसिमका आइडिया भएका व्यक्तिहरूलाई अनुसन्धान तथा आविष्कार गर्न लगाएर उनीहरूलाई उद्यमी बनाउने हाम्रो चाहिँ मुख्य उद्देश्य हो र यहाँ खास गरी एप्लाइड रिसर्च एन्ड इनोभेसनको काम हुन्छ। यही माघ 10 गते नास्टले गर्न गइरहेको इनोभेसन कन्फरेन्स जुन छ त्यसमा म पनि आएर मेरो आफ्नो मन्तव्य राख्नेछु। रिसर्च एन्ड इनोभेसन नगरिकन देशको अर्थतन्त्र सुध्रिँदैन। त्यस कारणले सो कन्फरेन्समा तपाईहरू पनि सकेसम्म आएर त्यसलाई सफल पारिदिनु हुन अनुरोध गर्दछु।
मेरो नाम निरु रायमाझी खत्री। म महिला उद्योग महासङ्घ नेपाल एफविनको अध्यक्ष। यो माघ 10 गते जनवरी 24 मा फर्स्ट नेशनल इनोभेसन कन्फरेन्स हुँदैछ। त्यो कन्फरेन्समा मैले पनि इनोभेसन च्यालेन्जेस एन्ड अपर्च्युनिटिज फर वुमेन एन्टरप्रेन्योर्स भनेर महिला उद्यमी सङ्घको तर्फबाट प्रस्तुत गर्नेछु। यसमा विशेषतः महिलाहरूले भोगेको र उहाँलाई चाहिने इनोभेसन टेक्नोलोजिजहरूले कस्तो असर पार्छ, के फाइदा हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा गर्नेछु र यहाँहरूलाई पनि म यही मञ्चबाट आमन्त्रित गर्नेछु। यो एकदमै इन्ट्रेस्टिङ हुनेछ, आइदिनुहोस्। यसमा धेरै कुरा सिक्न पाइन्छ। नमस्ते।
नमस्कार, म प्रमिला देवी बजाचार्य, शिक्षा विज्ञान तथा प्रविधि सेक्टरको विज्ञान तथा प्रविधि सेक्टर हेड छु। शिक्षा विज्ञान तथा प्रविधि मन्त्रालय तथा नास्टको सहकार्यमा आगामी माघ 10 गते हुन गइरहेको फर्स्ट इनोभेसन कन्फरेन्स सफलतापूर्वक सम्पन्न होस् भनी शुभकामना व्यक्त गर्न चाहन्छु। शिक्षा विज्ञान तथा प्रविधि मन्त्रालयले विज्ञान प्रविधि तथा नवप्रवर्तन नीति 2076 ल्याइसकेको छ। विज्ञान प्रविधि तथा नवप्रवर्तन नीति 2076लाई कार्यान्वयन गर्न उचित सुझाव यस सेमिनारले दिनुहुनेछ भन्ने अपेक्षा गरेको छु। धन्यवाद।
नमस्ते यहाँहरू सबैलाई। म सजना महर्जन अमात्य। म हाल एसिया फाउन्डेसनमा कार्यरत छु र डेटा फर डेभलपमेन्ट भन्ने कार्यक्रमको चाहिँ डिरेक्टरको रूपमा कार्यरत छु। म विगत झन्डै 2 दशकदेखि नेपालको विकासको लागि विकास साझेदारसँग सम्बन्धित विभिन्न संस्थाहरूमा काम गरिआएको छु। केही लामो समय चाहिँ मैले नेपालको शान्ति प्रक्रियामा काम गरेँ भने अहिले चाहिँ म सामाजिक विकाससँग सम्बन्धित स्पेशली डेटा र टेक्नोलोजीसँग रिलेटेड काम गरिआएको छु। अहिले माघ 10 गते नास्टको आफ्नै सभा हलमा हुने पहिलो इनोभेसन कन्फरेन्समा चाहिँ चौथो प्यानलमा म वक्ताको रूपमा प्रस्तुति दिँदैछु। यहाँहरू सबैलाई त्यो प्यानलमा उपस्थित भएर मैले बोल्ने टपिक बिल्डिङ इनोभेसन इकोसिस्टम